Hi ladies and gentlemen, Sean Davies with Coloradoreinsman. Here again with Miss Isabella. Today I'm going to start off a little differently than you usually see me out in the round pen. Today I'm just going to start her with her tied up over here. And for some of you folks that are picking up horses off the feedlots and off of kill buyers that maybe they're not that great with their feet, I'm going to show you a little bit of what I do with the feet today. And I'm going to brush her up a little bit, then I'm going to work her out in the arena this afternoon and show you what you can do if you don't have a round pen. Round pens are fantastic tools, I use them all the time, but what if you don't have one? I'm going to go through some exercises out here today that shows you what you can do when you don't have your ideal situation. First thing I'm going to do is just real quickly, I'm just going to brush her up. So this mare, when I got her in, was super pushy. She's really calming down. She loves her attention now. She's put on quite a bit of weight and really starting to round up. The exercise is helping her. A lot of you saw her when she first got off the truck and the trailer, and she was pretty drawn up. And now she's really starting to fill out, starting to find her feet with the exercises that we've been doing. Starting to figure out what lead she's supposed to be on in the rear end. So, just going to really brush her up real quick. And this is one of those things that when they are a problem horse with her hind end, she was a little rough with her hind feet. She won't let me pick them up at first. So a lot of I get that passed with my brushes. If I can brush this leg without her moving all over, I'm in good shape. Now she's pretty dusty. Okay, now one of the things I teach all my students, especially the kids, when they're transferring from one side to the other, don't just walk around. Remember, you're dealing with a two-brained animal. Right now the brain's looking at me, this ear, this eye's looking at me, and when I transfer the other side, I don't want to like disconnect myself and just show up in that other side. You get a horse that's not used to that, that's when you get kicked. So I'm going to ask her to move over, but I'm going to tell her where I am and where I'm going at the whole time. So I'm going to start right here. Put my hand on the withers. I'm going to bring my hand right here. Now she stepped into me and I've got my arm in this position. It'll just push me off of her and keep me in a safe space. Now I want to transfer sides. I'm going to slide this hand over to this side of her body, right here. Now my hand is on her left rump. So as I walk around, watch her head look at me. She caught me in this eye already. Now she's looking at me. Now she knows where I am. No muss, no fuss. I'm going to come over here now. So if I want her to move over, I'm just going to take my fingertips really gently and put a little light pressure on her and ask her to step over. Don't go elbow on them, don't knee them in the belly, don't poke them real hard, because an end pressure animal is going to push back on you. I did nothing more than a light touch. Now I'm just going to get up here, and you see I'm not going to spend a lot of time brushing her. I just want to spruce her up a little bit for the video, and I'm building my relationship with her. You can spend an hour grooming your horse if you want. 30 minutes, 20 minutes, who cares? Groom your horse before you work with him. Work on building that relationship, and they're going to be so much more willing to work with you. So, you see, I'm just touching her all over. Now this is a fairly stiff brush to get some of this mud off of her. She was out running around the pasture. Now if you also notice, a lot of times I've got my off hand on her. So if I'm brushing back here, I've got my hand on her. I'm always got a connection. So if she stepped into me or moved, it pushes me off of her without her stepping on me. Now this leg is the one that she tends to move when I ask it to pick up. So I'm going to brush her down the leg and get her to used to not picking that foot up. And that's what I'm looking at. Beautiful. I'm going to ask her for her tail. So I'm going to reach up underneath here. I'm going to stand over here and I'm going to brush her tail real quick. Now when this horse was in quarantine up in right at the Oregon-Washington border, a nice lady named Angela Brown had her in quarantine. She spent a long time getting big old knots out of this tail for me. She really liked to kind of work with Isabella a little bit and see what she could do as far as grooming her. And boy, she said that she just had a club for a tail and a lot of hair came out. So her tail is a little pitiful looking right now, but I can see that now that she's getting some good food, putting on some weight, her tail's looking a lot richer. And you notice I stand off to the side. I have my forearm right up against her hip. So if I feel that muscle tense, like she was going to kick, this horse really not a big kicker, but if I have my arm up here against that, I can feel that muscle tense and I can get out of the way. There's a lot of little techniques that we can do. Good girl. Now I'm going to just do a quick brush on her mane. Don't want to spend a whole lot of time with this stuff, because I don't want to lose our light this afternoon. But it's a beautiful day in January day in Colorado. Good girl. Good girl. And all of this, see how calm she's standing? She was a little bit more hyped up when she first got in. Much better. And get some dirt off her face. Get her forelock. Get a little crusties in her eye. Good girl. Now I'm going to move to the other side and you're going to get to see a little bit more how I do that. Now for a kid or a young person, if you want to walk out there and come around in their eyeball, that's what you do. You don't have to be so close up behind that leg. Just going to get a softer brush real quick. Come here and, you know, let her smell it. I'm just going to brush her face a little. You guys are fairly new to horses. Look at their hair. Always find the track of their hair and follow that. Even on their forehead, you'll see it grows up here, grows over that way, grows over this way. Don't go against the grain of the hair. It's irritating. I like my brushing. There you go. Good girl. Okay, that's a real quick groom. Now, I'm going to use my trusty hoof pick here. I don't go down and just grab that foot. If you just go down and grab that foot, they're going to resist you, put their weight on. She's pretty good with her front feet. So I'm going to put my hand up on the shoulder. I'm going to say, I like this shoulder. I'm making friends with this shoulder. Then I'm going to come to the upper leg. Make friends with that. Make friends with the whole leg, rub it all over, come down here, and she just shifted her weight. That's what I'm looking for. My goal is not just to reach down and get the foot up and cleaned as fast as I can. It's to get this foot properly picked up without a lot of resistance. And just let her know that this leg is fine. I'm never going to hurt her. A horse giving up their feet is like one of the #1 things you've got to get done before you get on a horse. If they don't give up their feet, they're not going to give up their mind. So I'm going to ask her again, give me your foot. Now I'm going to gently put a little pressure right here on that foot and break that toe over. Yep. Just break that toe over right there. I still want to break the toe over. Let her relax right there. You see that? Now I'm going to pick that foot up. And now, get all the sand, mud, and garbage out of it. Now I trimmed these front feet about the first time I worked with her. She really didn't want anybody trimming her feet up in Oregon. See, she likes to take that away, so I'm going to put my knee in front of that leg for a second. Now, I'm going to just drop my hoof pick, take this foot, and I'm going to gentle it down to the ground. If she tries to take it, I'm just going to hold it. See her try to take it? I just held my thumbs in the frog. Now I let it go. I want to control that foot all the way down to the ground. Good girl. Okay, so I'm going to ask this hind leg to pick up. So I'm just going to rub this hip, rub down this leg. See, she moves. So I'm just going to keep my hand rubbing her, come down here, and ask that foot to pick up. I'm going to gently break that toe over, just like that. Come in here, grab the toe. I'm going to step this foot back, lean that on my leg, and just clean her up real quick. Now her foot's pretty clean right now. So now I'm just going to take my hoof pick out of the picture, pat it a little bit, rub it, just get it used to being rasped. Keep my elbow on the outside of this hind leg, take my knee out from underneath her, exhale. I'm going to relax that foot to the ground, put that toe. She took it, I keep the foot. Relax the foot to the ground. Let go. And pet her right there. That's one of the best times she's done. So my work in the arena is paying off. My work right there is paying off. Now I'm going to move her over. Put my hand on the other side. Step around. She says, I know you're coming this way. See, she's already got me in this eye. Now I'm going to ask her to move over. Good girl. Now I'm going to do the exact same thing with this leg. I'm going to rub her on the shoulder first. Just don't go down and pick up that foot. You know, that's how horses start getting resistant. Rub, 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 slide down. I can feel her shift her weight right there. I'm just going to put a little pressure, lift and push forward, break that toe over, put my thumb right here, lift up. Pick out that foot. Get this done in just seconds or there we go. Okay, take that out of the way. Put my thumbs right here and I'm going to breathe that foot to the ground again. She tried to take it. I resisted a little bit. Again. Now I'm going to just let the weight of the leg set down on the ground. Up, resist. Resist, resist, toe on the ground. She's relaxed. Take your hand away. Let her adjust her leg. That's confidence and relaxation. Good girl. Now she's so relaxed she doesn't want to move it. This is a baby. And then I'm going to come back here and rub this leg. And she'll adjust that foot in a second. Now see, this is a leg that she likes to move on a lot. And I'm kind of hoping she does. See that? See, I keep my arm there, she pushes me off. Now I'm in a bad position because of this stuff I'm still trying to get out. So I know what she's going to do. So here's what I'm going to do. got my trusty rope here. I'm going to bring her on this other side. I'm going to ask her to move over. Now, I've got a multitude of different ropes with different meanings, different uses. This is just an old lead rope that actually got chewed up during the flood. And, you know, first thing I'm going to do is just rub her with this rope. Good girl. And see, I'm happy that she did this because then I get to show you. So I've got this rope. I put it just above her heel bulbs there. See, now she's picking up that foot. She knows that her game is done right now. I am going to put a little pressure. I can be up here by the shoulder, put a little pressure on that foot right there, lift it up. Now I take all the pressure off, and I'm going to rub that hip. I'm going to take a little pressure on, lift that foot up, hold it, and let it go, and rub that hip. Now when you first start, some of these horses are going to kick, kick, kick. You got a long enough rope. You just let your arms go with it. Keep a light pressure on until they quit kicking. When they quit kicking, take the pressure off. Let it go down. I'm going to put the pressure on right here, lift that foot, let it go down. I'm going to shorten up my rope. Have my hand up here. Put a little pressure on. Let it down. Put my hand down here. Put the pressure on. Let it down. Take off my rope. Put the pressure on. Pick up the toe. Come back here. See, I'm very happy that she resisted me there, because then I could show you what I've been working on. You see how quickly she gave to me. She knew the game was up. All I got to do is just clean her up, take my thumbs, exhale. See how I got my elbow on the outside of that leg? That way, if she really tries to kick, she can push me off rather than have my arm or catch me in the kneecap. Now I'm going to gently put that toe down. I'm going to breathe out. And I'm going to step out of the way. And then I'm going to stand here for a second and rub, rub, rub. Woo! I'm very happy. That was excellent on her part. She gave very quickly. She has danced around and moved around and pushed on me and done a lot of things, and we just had to go to the rope and solve that problem. Go through another door. Don't fight, 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 get kicked in the arm or the head. Go to something, get it to work. Good girl. Now, see, if she pushes me, you see how that pushes me out of the way? That's exactly what I want. Now I'm going to ask her to move over. Hey, I don't like that right there. Get over. Energy. I've taught her to get off of pressure. Good girl. Alright, so stay tuned. We're going to end up out in the arena here in a second. I'll talk to you in just a minute. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to show you today a little bit. What if you don't have a round pin? Well, I've already taught her a lot of these exercises that I do in the round pin. I've worked her a little bit out here. But one of the first things, here is your round pin. If I have a 12-foot lead rope or 14-foot lead rope, that means I've got at least a 24-foot round pin here. Because if I get out here at the end, she's going to be moving around me in basically a 24, 28-foot, depending with my arm length, about a 28-foot round pin, which isn't huge, but there's your pin. So now she's gonna be bouncing all over. I'm gonna ask her to back up here a little bit. I'm gonna direct her. Now I've taught her to move that shoulder. I'm gonna raise that energy. She went parallel to me. She's moving forward. Now all I want to do right now is keep her going in my direction without running me over. So I want to see how she's going to do. Now the first time I did this, she'd be running and bouncing and jerking all over. She will when I get her moving a little bit. She's hearing some goose hunters going off right now. But she's licking and chewing, paying attention to me. That's all I need for that couple times. I'm going to step and push towards her butt. Back. I'm going to push a little bit more. Get her straight. Stand up. Back her up. Right there. And I'm going to pet her. Good girl. Let her think for a second, because she did real good without getting excited. I don't want to wait for her to get excited. Good girl. Now, I've sent her to my left. I'm going to energy, back her up, direct her, push that shoulder over, pivot. Now, if you notice, as she goes around, I'm lined up more back here with her hip. So I can look forward on my circle and see her out of the corner of my eye. I can tell where she is the whole time. Now, this horse wouldn't do this at first. I mean, this is probably my 8th time working with this horse, and she's already starting to keep out of my distance, keep out of my space, and walk forward calmly on a circle in pretty good posture. And I like that. So guess what? I want her to remember that's the thing to do. I'm going to change my tool here, slide my hand, push towards that butt, and back her up. Energy. And I don't care if it's a lean and a step. I'm just going to give that to her. I'll get more steps as time goes on. I'm going to let her smell me, come in and pat her right there on that at the withers. Good girl. Good girl. Just rub her. She's doing real well. Doing real well. Now I'm going to pick up the pace a little bit. You'll probably see her get excited. Now I didn't ask her to move around there, so I'm going to back her up. Back her up. Now I'm going to direct her. I'm saying, move that shoulder. I'm talking to her. I'm going to ask the shoulder to step over. There we go. I'm going to look forward, close that door, move her, move her. Get her back in that calm place. I'm going to actually ask her to walk. And you see her right now, she decided, well, I got some energy, I want to go forward. Well, let me do this. I'm going to push towards that hip. I just slowed her down. I'm going to tell her to walk forward. There we go. Don't go away. Now she's walking. She figured out. I can push that hip off track and get her to slow down. I'd like her to learn to transition like that. Keep her face on me, close that door, get her to move forward, bump her nose right there, bump her nose, drive her forward. Now, I'm going to ask her to come down. First with my body, my energy. If she doesn't, I can try this movement. Step towards that rear end and keep going. Step towards that rear end and keep going. Good girl. There's another move. If she trots out again, I'll show you that one. Right there. I'm going to wiggle this lead rope. Get a little energy out in front of her. Look how it stopped her. I got to be even lighter than that. Lighter than that. Good girl. Lighter than that. Putting energy in front of that drive line. I didn't tell her to trot. I'm controlling her speed, direction, and gait. Now I'm going to stand up taller. One kiss. Now I said trot. Now she doesn't want to. There we go. Good girl. I want to look now on getting her trotting forward on a circle. I'm going to look on my circle. My shoulders are going forward at the same as hers. I want to shape her up. When I see her look out, I'm going to lift that shoulder and bump that nose in and drive her forward. So I'm working her in my round pen right now. let's get a transition down to a walk. Little too much down. There, I got her to transition. I don't care how rough it is right now. Man, 10 lessons down the road, she's going to transition like butter. Lowering my energy. There we go. And that right there is time for disengagement. Push at that hip. Back her up. Lightly, don't get crazy with the rope. Now I'm going to reward her. Come in, let her smell me. So we're doing a beautiful round pin session without a round pin. I am not lunging her. If I was lunging her, this would already be a wreck. Traditional lunging does not take into consideration any of our natural positions with a horse. Wherever the front of your body goes is where your energy goes. So if my energy is facing forward, it's where I want her to go. If I am sitting here with a long lunge whip and a long lunge line facing her like this, her rear end's going to be blowing out all the time. She's going to be trying to go away from me all the time. She's going to lose her posture all the time. Just stand there. If you're turning forward, I'm riding the horse. Thank you. She's telling me what she thinks about that. Thank you so much. So I'm riding my horse from the ground. Back her up. I'll show you that. Okay, here's my rein. I would like to have my rein in as natural a position as I can. I am behind the drive line. Okay, so I'm riding this horse from the ground. If I've got a horse that drops that shoulder in, I can push this rear end up underneath it, drive this rear end a little bit stronger. So I'm going to push a little energy towards the rear end. Watch this rear end drive up underneath her. Drive up underneath her. Now I'll move her forward. Keep it driving up underneath her. There. Now go forward. Now as she goes around, she's going to raise that shoulder a little bit. That rear end's driving. I'm going to slow her down, 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 slow her down. Right there. Good girl. I do not want to pull and tug and jerk on my horse all the time. Now, I'm going to change my tool, pick up my rope, step under, press at that rear end, and go the other way. She goes, oh my God, that's a lot of pressure. Direct her forward. Let her walk. Stand up tall. Create that energy. Let her trot. Now she's a lot more balanced on this right side than she used to be. Oops. Close that door. Let her trot. She says, no, I don't want to go that way. See, this stick only comes into play when I need it. Now I'm going to let her have a little line here. I'm going to get her out and have a 20-some foot lead round pin. Now I'm going to pick this energy up a little bit, push her, let her canter. Now this is where she's got to find that round pin. Now she's off in the rear end, so she's a little bouncy there. Now she's correct. She goes, up, there's somebody over there. There she goes. She's off in the rear end. She's going to fix it. There we go. Good girl. And relax. Let her trot. Good girl. Still looking forward. 2 kisses. Beautiful. Let her relax. Good girl. Good girl. Transition her down. Oh, I love what I do. It's not just a blow. You got to relax your whole body. Actually, an arm. Try not to drag that bag. I can help her here. Little vibration on that rope. Little vibration on that rope. Good girl, good girl. Little vibration on the rope. Again, until she walks. Good girl. Now I'm going to change my tool. Now she picked up that trot again. I'm going to change my tool. Close that door. Now I'm going to work her real quick here. Look how excited she is. Direct. There's a horse across the road. She's all excited. I'm going to step towards that butt. I'm going to make sure her mind is on me. See, this is where people get hurt. They don't ever work their horse in a position to where it has to focus on you when there's something else going on. They try to avoid the things that are going on. Well, life is not avoidance. With these horses, I want to expose them to as much stuff as I can. Now this horse was supposed to be a little pushy and spooky. This cheap plastic bag creates energy here. It's just going to help her overcome everything else. It's one of the best tools, some of the worst tools in the wrong hand. I'm going to change my tool, step under my rope, direct. I'm going to change my tool here, step under my rope, direct. Good girl. I am separating the front end from the back end. Step towards rear end and move that shoulder. Step under, push, and move that shoulder over. Beautiful. Good girl. And then I'm going to pet her. Good girl. Now when I first started that exercise with her, about time 1 and 2, she was rearing up and running all over the place, and look at her now. About session 8 or 9, something like that. She's not huffing and puffing. She understands. Good girl. Okay. That's all I got to do with that. That's my round pin session. Now I'm going to work her in another exercise. I'm still going to be riding her from the ground. And I'm going to be sending her around the rail with me, and we're going to be cutting corners and doing things, so it's the exact same foundational movement. Back her up. Yep, I didn't tell her to move that shoulder yet. I'm going to back her up. I'm going to direct. I'm going to let her walk forward. Now I'm going to walk with her behind the shoulder. If I can, I'm going to be back by this hip. I'm looking forward right now. Now I'm going to look across the arena. 3 steps. I'm going to turn. And I'm going to walk. I'm teaching this horse to turn without pulling a rein. If she pushes on me, I'm going to move her over a little bit. Move her over. Look. Help her right there and walk. I'm going to look. I'm going to pick a place. I'm going to start walking in place, walking in place. Help her and walk right towards where I'm looking. Looking right at this post. I'm going to look. 1, 2, 3, and turn and walk. And now I'm going to change my tool. I'm going to step up, push at her rear end, and back her up. I didn't say go back through here. Good girl. Boy, what a difference 7 or 8 times working with a horse can make. Back her up. Pay attention to me. I'm going to direct her shoulder over, pivot, pivot, drive her forward, close that door. So if she tries to trot past me, first I'm going to ask her to relax. I'm going to wiggle that rope. See, that's perfect. Wiggle, stay in my position. Stop that right there. Stop that right there. I'm still looking. She needs to line up with where I'm looking, and that was beautiful. Right. 3 steps, turn right, stay in my position and walk forward. Do I need to harrow my arena? I dumped a bunch of sand and haven't harrowed it, so it's a little funky walking. Good girl. Now I'm going to walk a circle. I'm going to look on a circle. I'm going to walk a circle right here. Guide her around the circle. Stay in my position. Stay in my position. Stay in my position. Walk forward. I'm not pulling her into that. I'm just guiding her. My hand stays right there. Good girl. Now I'm going to see how far back I can get. That eye. Good girl. I'm one rein ground driving this horse right now. Preparing her for when I start ground driving. I'll push that eye over. Push that eye, straighten her out. Push that eye, close that door. Good girl. Slow her down. Slow her down. Slow her down. I will put some pressure on her. I'm going to push that eye. Get her back. Good girl. So we saved that. I didn't get all stupid. I kept my feet moving. I'm going to slow her down. Good girl. One rein ground driving this horse right now. I wonder if I can turn her. Drive her forward. I like to drive her forward in a straight line. Good girl. Good girl. Before she falls apart, let's change our tool. Back her up. Oh. Hey, that's pretty neat stuff right there. Good girl. Now I got to do it this way. Back her up. Move the shoulder. Push her over the rail and start here on the rail. Now she pushes on me. I just push my hand at that eye, that front end, because I've gotten her pretty sensitive now. I'm looking ahead. I'm saying, you just go ahead. I'm going to push that eye, push that eye. There, she's straightened out. We'll move her over. And I'm behind her. Oh, she's crossing in front of me. I'm going to say, get over. Oh. You don't get to do that. Get your butt back over here. Butt back over here. Push her. Just stay on my track. Look to my left. Go down the rail. I'll push her eye right there. She's getting in front of me. I want her off that line. Off that line. There we go. That's a smart horse right there. Now before she falls apart, I'm going gonna disengage her. Good girl. Woo. Good girl. Now, oh boy, some really good work by her. You can see her thinking. When I keep my track and look on my track and tell her where I want her, she thinks about it and gets there. That's what I want from her. Now, I am going to do another exercise, and it's part of my disengagement and change directions. In fact, now all I'm going to do is change direction, up and down the arena one time. So, I'm going to ask her to come around me, okay? And then I'm going to disengage that hind end. I'm going to push, direct, let her come past me here, disengage, push, direct, come past me, push, direct. Now watch her hind end and her front end change the weight. Beautiful. Little stumbly there. Close that door. Come around. Shake her up. Bring her forward. Now as she crosses my center line, I step to that rear end, direct her down the middle of the arena. And let her go. Step to the rear end, direct her. See, I didn't even have to use my stick. Direct her. Ready? Step. Direct. Close the door. Step. Direct. Close the door. Step. Direct. I'm not even going to stop my walking this time. Step. Direct. Close the door. Step. Direct. Close the door. Step towards the rear end. Back her up. That was beautiful. That was lovely. This horse is starting to get her strength, and she's starting to figure out where her feet go. She was picking up the wrong lead in the rear end all the time, and now on a 24-foot circle, she's picking up the correct lead in the rear end 90% of the time. So we are doing really good. Really pleased with her. Now, I'm out here, no round pen. Let's see if I can get her to drop her head. Oh, that's beautiful. This horse is 16-1. If I cannot get her to drop her head when it comes time to put a snaffle bit in her mouth, she's going to be really tall. So I'm going to ask her again, real lightly with my hand. Hey, that's what I'm looking for. Again, I want to stand here about a 45-degree angle off her shoulder. Just have my hand up here and gently bring that head down. I'm putting pressure, she's fighting me, I'm grabbing her a little bit up here, now I let go. Pressure, let go. Hold, pressure, let go. Pressure, let go. Pressure, see, she doesn't like the pressure, so I let go. Pressure, let go. Pressure, let go, and rub. Good girl. You got to get quick on the release. So when I put my thumb and my fingers up here right at the top, right behind the pole on each side of her skull where the neck muscles come to the skull, just put a little pressure. And she gave me an inch, I'm going to rub her. Exhale. Good girl. Exhale. Good girl. You don't have to get in here and run their feet around constantly. You can do things where they're just standing still. Give them a little break. Just get her to stand here while you're tossing that rope. You know, for a spooky horse, which she's really not that spooky anymore. She does get big when she gets excited, but now I'm getting her big. I love a big horse. I love a horse that has some energy and some self-carriage and some balance to her. But if she sees the horse riding over there and quits paying attention to me, I'm going to grasp that attention back. Not in a mean, cruel way, just bump her, drive her forward. Get her to do all this stuff. Here's how I'll get control of those legs. Now, you can do this 50,000 times, and you've seen every clinician and every trainer worth their salt showing you how to do this stuff. Nothing new here. In fact, I'm going to stand just a little bit here and just toss that rope. Toss that rope. Toss that rope. Now she moves, so I'm not going to just stop that rope for a second. I'm going to say stand still. And I'm just going to toss it up there. She didn't move, I'm going to pet her. That's all I need to do with that for right now. First, I need to make sure that she can do a rear end disengagement with her front feet moving on a circle. So my position, and you guys have seen this a billion times in my old videos. Number one thing, position. Let's get into position. In front of the front feet, arm distance off of her, behind the nose. Hold your hand up here to hold that head and shoulder up. Look at the hip. Get that hip to step under. Right there. Right there. Right there. Right there. Right there. Now, lower my arm. Good girl. I do not spin that front foot. A lot of times you'll see that front foot spin around. That means they've dropped all their weight on their inside front leg. 99% of the time with your horses, you do not want them putting their weight on their inside front leg. I'm in position, relaxed, raise my energy, look at that hip, walk towards it. Bring your rein back to where it would be in the saddle. Now, she's spinning that foot, so how do I do it? I raise my energy, put a little movement forward. There we go. There we go. There we go. And I'm going to step out, lower my arm, keep walking. You know, this horse would just be bouncing all over the place when I first did that. You're going to see that a lot more with her. Getting control of that rear end. Now, this bag. You can see she's going, oh my God. I'll let her smell it. I'm going to let her see it. I'm going to take it away. Let her smell it. She says, oh my God. Good girl. Now I'm going to come in here and pet her with it. Now she's not overly afraid of this plastic bag now. She's doing so much better. So I'm going to put a little pressure on her. I don't want to get her real hot right now because it's just sun's gone down, it's starting to get cool. I'm going to see if she's going to freak out with this pressure. My body energy's off. I know where she is because I can feel her on that lead rope. My body energy's off. I'd like her to stabilize and just stand there. There we go. Good girl. She's licking and chewing and says, you didn't kill me. Good girl. Let's see if I can do that again. She didn't move. Good girl. For those of you that know what sacking out means, 90% of the sacking out procedures out there do more to cause fear in a horse than actually dissipate that fear. Make sure your body energy, I never come at my horse like, oh, look at the bag, look at the bag, oh, you're afraid of it. Well, of course you're afraid of it. Same thing with tarps, same thing with anything different. Just work on it. My body energy's over here. It's completely off of her. And if I can put a little energy here, if she wants to move around, she's moving around over there. I know where she is by the, I can bump her nose. I know where she is. Now maybe you guys at home don't want to do that with your back turned to them. Now I don't have a death grip on the rope. When I feel her, I'll bump her nose there so she doesn't go around me. Now I'm standing still, trying to get her to calm down. There. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Now let's help her. Horses don't tend to be afraid of things that they're able to chase away. So let's walk a little bit. Boy, look at the difference in that. Isn't that interesting? She's chasing this bag away. Oh, I thought about leaving you, but it's still going away from me, so why should I be afraid? You're a beautiful girl and very smart. So you see the difference. My energy, even standing still away, standing still, the bag still bothered her, but she overcame it. When it goes away, she overcomes it even more. Now what about if there's pressure going on her? Well, it's a whole different story. So what do you look for? Well, like I said, I don't want to get her real excited, but I've already taught her to disengage her rear end, so I am going to say, ask her to disengage her rear end, and then I'm going to bring this bag up. If she gets excited, now I've done this one time with her. She would have been cantering around, rearing up and bucking around trying to get away from that even yesterday. That was so good, I'm not going to raise the pressure today because she did so well. You get something that good on small, quit. Now I'm going to come over here. I'm going to ask her to get on this side, get in position. I'm going to ask her to move without the bag first. I'm going to ask her to move, raise that energy, then I'm going to start putting the bag on. Move that shoulder. Now, she picked up a little bit more pace, but she's not really running away. And she's staying in control. I got to move that shoulder, staying in control. Staying in control, keep the shoulder moving. Stay in control. Stay in control, move, move, move. She softened right there. Good girl. We ended so well yesterday on that same exercise. That's beautiful. That tells me she absorbed it and said, oh, there's no problem. Well, we are losing our light, and I'm going to do maybe one more exercise, a little leg yield. So it incorporates her stepping diagonally, both hind and front. I can get it going forward, and I can get it from the side. So if I want her to move, let's just say it's from the side. I don't have the rail of the round pin now. Let's say I get in here, in position, in rubber. Let's say now I use my same position. Oh, look at that. Drive her forward right here. Oh, that was beautiful. So let's say I want to drive her over to the rail here. I'm going to turn my body diagonally into her and raise up that shoulder. Oh, that's just sexy. I don't care what anybody says. Yeah, that's better. I'm going to give that to her because I don't want to get in a fight tonight. Good girl. But I'm going to get it better real quick by putting her towards the rail here. And now I'll ask her to move. Move that rear end over just a little bit. Teach her not to run into the post. Good girl. Excellent. Now I'm going to drive her forward. Now I'm going to take her towards the rail. I'm going to raise that. Make sure she's bent my way. Turn my body. Up, up, up. Too much shoulder. Don't let her push through. Don't let her push through. Move that shoulder around. Now move that shoulder. If I have to, I'm going to move my feet. There we go. There we go. This side's not as pretty as the other side. Drive. Stop pushing through. There you go. Good girl. Come around. Walk forward. Get her mind on me. Now, I'm going to turn my body towards her. There we go. There we go. Beautiful. Oh my goodness. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. You know, the sun's going down. She has just been remarkable. Without the round pen. It's beautiful stuff. I wonder how wonderful she's going to be in the end. I can't wait to see it. You guys are on the journey with me. So this is Isabella. Sean Davies with Coloradoreinsman. Stay tuned. We'll see you next time.